Okay, hi, it's Reuben, Ebrahimoff, Shavua Tov. And I'm very excited to be broadcasting, thank you, Anna, on Restream, where we have, I would say, every major uh, social media channel. We are on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, Instagram. We'll see what's next, maybe TikTok. Okay, Shavua Tov. Tonight is Saturday, March 13th. Aha! And guess what? It's also Rosh Chodesh. It's the new month. So let's just buckle down a little bit. It's the Rosh Chodesh. Guess what? What was yesterday's Haftorah? Parashat HaChodesh, the month. So what's the big deal about Rosh Chodesh? Well, there's big deals on a number of levels. So the first one is you need to know when the new month is in order to count the days so that you hit it right at the right date to celebrate the Chag. So aside from five of the new months having a Chag on the 15th, because you have Sukkot, tabernacle, you have Tu B'Shvat, the first day of spring, you have Purim, you have Pesach, and there's an obscure holiday called Tu B'Av. So one, it was they were congruent with each other, Shabbat and Rosh Chodesh. That Shabbat's importance that we know today, however, back in the day, Rosh Chodesh was nearly as important, if not more important, because you wouldn't know when to celebrate a holiday if you couldn't look up at the sky and see the new moon. So that's the importance. Now, that's any Rosh Chodesh, but what is special about this Rosh Chodesh is HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem Rosh Chodashim. Haftarah man, translate into English. This Rosh Chodesh is the first Rosh Chodesh of the year. So you go, oh, you mean it's Nisan? I go, no, it wasn't called Nisan when God spoke this in the year 2448 from the time of creation. So what happens is, let me just get to see this, I'm making sure I'm broadcasting, that here we go. Oh, this is great. That the year, the Jewish year, the Rosh Hashanah, the new year, started in this month, in the spring. Passover had to be in the spring. That's why even if you need a leap month, because it's a lunar calendar, you had it then. They didn't make it a leap month in the summer, in the winter. They just made it in the spring. Okay, next. Today you'll say, hey, Haftorah man, we have Rosh Hashanah, we have the new year in September, and the name of the month is Tishrei. Well, let me first break it to you. Those months' names are not Jewish. They're Babylonian. And we have their names, Nisan. Actually, Tammuz is the name of a pagan deity. So then you say, how did that happen? Well, originally, the year started tonight. This was New Year's. Wow. That's interesting. Because it is the first day of the first month. Okay. Then, how did it become Tishrei, the seventh month, B'chodesh HaShvi'i? So they now celebrate it on the seventh of the seventh month of the on the first day of the month. Well, when they were in Babylonia for 70 years, actually 52 years under Babylonian rule and 18 years under the Persian rule, go Farsim, you have a change that they adapted and adopted the calendar to be consistent with the Babylonian Rosh Hashanah. Some say that it was in September, let's say. So now, what do you have? Just like you have a Gregorian calendar, okay? So it's not the same as the Hebrew moon calendar. Okay, fine. Now, just I have to digress for a minute. There was originally 10 months in the Gregorian calendar. No, I won't fall asleep, Anna. And then what happens is you have the names of the months. September is 7th, October, octagon, 8, November, 9, December, decimal, 10. Hey, what's going on over here? Well, there used to be 10 months in the year. And two great leaders of the Roman Empire said, you know something, we got to push our names in there so we will be commemorated for eternity. So July is the first month that was inserted, and that is Julius Caesar. And August is Augustus Caesar, and that's how you have 12 months in a year. Okay, fine. Let's go away from spiritual ADD and let's go to learning some Tehillim, some Psalms. Okay, so who wrote this chapter? It says Moshe, because Moshe has been writing since chapter 90. So now we all know who Moses was. He was the leader of the Jewish people. He came down from Mount Sinai a couple of times, and he led the Israelites through the Sinai desert and brought them to the threshold of the promised land. Thank you, Bruce Springsteen. Moses wrote this psalm about how the people of Israel will sing in joy when they are redeemed from exile. Okay, wait till we hear this. So the genre, what is the style of this song? It is the Psalm of Enthronement, which is a very, very, very important acknowledgement that God is royalty, the royal king of the universe. Then the Psalm of Praise. This is a psalm of celebration, often the result of a victory. It declares God's goodness and urges all of creation to worship. Now, the chapter summary. The one who wrote this, Moshe, sings a song for the future when God will deliver Israel from evil persecutors. In this and the following psalm, the singer further declares that the Lord will perform miracles transcending nature. Look up at the camera, not at the computer screen. Thank you. And transcending nature in order to conform to the deliverance of his servants. Okay, everybody, open up your books, From Your Lips to God's Ears, written by Ebrahimoff. And it's available on Amazon, and you should have this book because it explains every little last detail. So a lot of people that say Tehillim, they don't comprehend Tehillim. Let's start understanding what we're praying to God better. You don't want to be mumbling to God and God goes, what are you saying? You don't understand. You want me to understand? I want you to understand. If you understand that, I can at least empathize with your request. So, Psalm consists of 13 verses. That's not so bad. We should be able to get through that. And 1 through 3, Moshe calls out to all to sing to God. Well, why don't we just put in the Shimush Tehillim, the usages of Tehillim. And that is that the usages of Tehillim is you say this chapter to help one's family rejoice. We need a little cheering up from time to time. Boom! This is it. Shlomo Carlebach sang it. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz. Sing to Adonai, sing to God, Shir Chadash, a new song. Very important. Why? Because the old song ran its course, petered out, needed a refreshing, like a Lev Chadash. Now this is a Shir Chadash, a new song. Sing to Adonai, Kol Haaretz, everybody that lives on planet Earth. Let's continue. Pasuk Bet. Shiru ladonai barchu shemo basru miyom liyom Yeshua so. Sing to Adonai, bless his name, barchu shemo. Basru, proclaim miyom liyom, his deliverance from day to day. Then Gimel 3. Sapru bagoyim kehevodo bechol ho'amim nifleosav. Recount his glory amongst the nations. Share the word to everyone on planet Earth. Let them know. Bechol ho'amim nifleosav, that all the nations of the world should hear about God's great miracles. That's the first part. Now, by the way, I'm singing this chapter, this entire book, all 150 chapters, was sung in King Solomon's temple, all 150 of them. They each have text, they each have the nikudot, the vowels, and they each have the ta'amim, the vocalization, and also the instrumentation. Now, verses 4 through 6, Moshe asserts that God is great and should be feared. Ki gadol Adonai umuhulal me'od, for Adonai is great and most extolled. Norahu al kol Elohim, he is awesome above all gods. Pasuk Hey 5. Ki kol Elohim ho'amim elilim, for all the gods of the nations are idols. Va'adonai, and as for God, shamayim asa, that's what God made. Let's go 6. Hod v'hadar lefanav, beauty and splendor are before him. This is majestic. Oz v'tiferes b'migdasho, strength and glory are in his sanctuary. Now we shift 7 through 10. He further calls upon all the nations of the world to fear God. Havu l'Adonai mishpachot amim. Havu, ascribe to God, mishpachot amim, the families of the peoples. Havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, ascribe to Adonai honor and might. Havu l'Adonai kavod shemo, ascribe to Adonai the honor due his name. Se'u mincha uvou lechatz rosav, bring an offering to come to his courtyards. Tet, hishtachavu l'Adonai bahadrat kodesh, prostrate yourselves before Adonai in the splendor of his holiness. Chilu mifanav kol haaretz, tremble before him all the peoples of the earth. 10. I'm loving it tonight. Thank you for listening. Share with your friends. Imru bagoyim, you should speak up amongst the nations. Adonai, Yud Kei Vav Kei Malach, the Lord of the Israelites is the king. Baal Timot, he established the world. Aftikon Tevel, Baal Timot, so that it cannot be moved. Yodin Amim B'Meisharim, he will judge the people's uprightness. This is amazing. Now we're going to do the last 3 verses. Ready? Ready. Yismechu Hashamayim. See how many songs come from Tehillim? Yismechu Hashamayim This is 11. From your lips to God's ears, page 355. Yismechu hashamayim, page 355. V'sagel haaretz, and the earth will have gilah, will be joyous. Yehiram hayam, Yehiram hayam, Yehiram hayam, umlo, the sea, hayam, umlo, and its fullness, yarim, will raise its voice. Nature that was created by God is going to be so happy. Ya'alos sodai v'chol asher bo. The field and all that is in it will jubilate. Ya'alos. Oz yiranenu kol atzei yo'ar. Then all the trees of the forests will sing for joy. Here we go. Lifnei Adonai kiva, before God, when he comes, kiva lishpot haaretz, that he comes to judge the earth. Yishpot tevel b'tzedek, he will judge mankind with justice. Tzaddikim, justice, righteous people. Ve'amim, and the peoples, be'emunaso, with his truth. So I mentioned that you say this chapter to cheer up your family, sing, clap your hands, praise God, connect to God. God is the source of all blessing and beauty. There's no reason to be moping and miserable. Things come, they go. Those things are temporary. How attached can you get to something temporary? Where here is everlasting, eternal, and permanent. Why wouldn't you choose this? It'll keep you going forever and ever, as if ever wasn't long enough. This is in the prayers in the Siddur of the Jewish people, the Hebrew people, on Kabbalat Shabbat, the welcoming of the Shabbat, as well as it's said on a couple other holidays during the years. It mentions Chatz Rosav, his courtyards. It's a reference to the Beit HaMikdash, the temple in Jerusalem. Let me find it, what Pasuk. Here it is, in Pasuk Chet. It is, bring an offering and come to his courtyards. There's an invitation. Okay, everybody, you are now a maven, somebody who understands this chapter of Tehillim. It's important not only to just read it and say it, but it's also now, if you say Kabbalat Shabbat and you're praying Friday nights in the synagogue, this is going to wake up off the page with amazing things. Shirul Adonai, sing, Shir Chadash, and that you should make God great, declare God great, and he is this wonderful, wonderful deity, God, that overlooks earth to make sure everything's okay, and scream out and share with everybody. The better days are coming. God is righteous. I thank you all for listening. I love you all. Shavua Tov and Shana Tova. And then somebody's going to say to you, what are you, crazy? You say, no, I'm not crazy. Haftorah man, Reuben Ebrahimoff, said that tonight is Rosh Chodesh of the Chodesh Harishon, the first month. And it says in the Torah, HaChodesh hazeh lachem Rosh Chodeshim. I ain't making this up. This month is the head month of the whole year. I'm telling you, for over 1,000 years, this was Rosh Hashanah tonight. And only one day. Not bad. So Shana Tova, yes, there's 4 Jewish New Years. This is one of them. And let's enjoy the spiritual up-ramp to the Chag Pesach, to the holiday of Passover. I hope you enjoyed. And have a Shavua Tov. And please write me if you're listening. And everybody be well. Hi, Jay Jaffe. Thank you for listening. Hope you're enjoying. God bless you all. Talk to you soon.